Good morning, students. Once again, here we are with the chapter. This is Jodi's fawn. And now we know that he's found the fawn in the jungle and he's carrying it home. Now he remembers his father saying that a fawn would follow if it had first been carried. So his father had told him some time back that if you carry a fawn, baby, that is baby deer, in your arms and then put it down, it will start following you. It will start following you. So this is what he does now. He started away slowly and the fawn stared after him. He came back to it and stroked it and walked away again. So what he is doing is, he's put down the fawn and he's hoping the fawn will follow him. It took a few wobbling, that is not shaking, steps towards him and cried piteously. Piteously is with sympathy. It was willing to follow him. So what his father had told him, that the fawn would follow if you had carried it for some time, and this is exactly what is happening. Now the fawn has started following him. And he is happy now. Why? Because the fawn belonged to him. It was his own. Ab ye mera hai. This fawn is mine. He was light-headed with joy and now he is very excited and happy. He wanted to fondle it. Fondle is when you love something, when you stroke something with love. To run, and now he wants to love the fawn, run with it and romp with it. Romp is play. To call it to come to him, and now he's very excited. He dared not alarm it. He picked it up and carried it in front of him over his two arms. So he did not want to alarm him, that is, shock him, surprise him. So he picks the horn in his arms. It seemed to him that he walked without effort. And now he is very happy. And even the burden of carrying the fawn in his arm, he is not feeling it. But since he is a small boy, his arms began to ache. Ache is pain. And he was forced to stop again. So he stops. When he walked on and puts down the fawn, and when he walked on, the fawn followed him at once. So what he remembers, his father had told him that if you carry a fawn for some time and put it down, then it will start following you. And this is what is happening. He allowed it to walk a little distance, then picked it up again. And this is how he is taking the fawn home. Carrying it, then putting it down, and then the fawn is following. And then again carrying it, putting it down. The distance home was nothing. He could have walked all day and night into the night, carrying it and watching it follow. And this he could have done. He is enjoying this activity so much that he would have done it the whole night, all day and night. But he was wet with sweat because he's tired. See, when you run or play, you start sweating. He was wet with sweat. But a light breeze, that is slow wind is called breeze, blew through the June morning, cooling him. But the breeze was helping him to cool down. The sky was as clear as spring water in a blue china cup. And since it had rained the previous night, the sky was as blue. Now he comes to this, now he's reached his home. He comes to the clearing because the house is near the forest. It was fresh and green after the night's rain. He fumbled with the latches with which you close the door, that is called latch, and was finally obliged to set down the fawn to manage it. And now, since he has to open the latch of the gate, he puts the fawn down. Then he has an idea. Now he thinks of an idea. What? He thinks that I'll walk into the house, into Penny's bedroom. Penny is his father. He's thinking that I'll walk into the bedroom of my father with the fawn walking behind him. So that would be great. But what happens? But at the steps, the fawn balked. Balked means he is unable to climb those steps and refused to climb them because the fawn is just a small baby, a small deer. And he is unable to climb those steps of the house. So what he does is, he picked it up and went to his father. Penny lay with closed eyes and his father is lying there sleeping. Jody called, "Pa, look!" Penny turned his head and his father looks at him. Jody stood beside him, the fawn clutched hard against him, and what he sees is, there is Jody and the fawn in his arms. It seemed to Penny that the boy's eyes were as bright as the fawn. And why his eyes are bright? Because he is happy with joy. He is excited because he has found the fawn and the fawn is his now. He said, "I'm glad you found him." Now Jody knows that the fawn is hungry, so Jody then went to the kitchen. The fawn wobbled is not walking properly, awkwardly. A pan of morning milk stood in the kitchen, and there is milk in the kitchen. The cream had risen on it. See, when you put milk for some time, there is a layer of cream on it. He skimmed, that is, moved the milk in a jug. He poured milk into a small gourd. Gourd is a vessel made out of the shell of a fruit. He held it out, as you can see in the picture. And he held it out to the fawn, and he gives it to the fawn. But what does the fawn do? He butted it suddenly, smelling the milk. Butted is when you hit with your head. And he hits the gourd with his head. He saved it precariously from spilling over the floor. And somehow Jody is able to stop the milk from spilling on the floor because the fawn had hit it with his head. It could make nothing of the milk in the gourd. And the fawn, as you know, babies do not know how to drink milk directly from a vessel. So what Jody does? He dipped his fingers in the milk and thrust them into the fawn's soft wet mouth. So he puts his finger into the milk and then put the finger in the mouth of the fawn. And it sucked greedily, and this is how it was able to suck the milk. When it withdrew him, he bleated frantically. And again, when he took out his finger, the fawn bleated frantically. Here, frantically means crazily. Here, it means it is excited. And butted him and started hitting Jody with his head. He dipped his fingers again, and as the fawn sucked it, he lowered them slowly into the milk. And this is how he was feeding the fawn, by putting his fingers into the milk and then into the mouth of the fawn. And finally he puts his finger into the milk. The fawn blew and sucked and snorted. And now the fawn is sucking the milk with his fingers in the milk, with Jody's finger in the milk. So he's sucking it and very happy. It's stamped. Stamped is hit. When an animal hits its front legs or back legs, hind legs on the ground, that is called stamping. It stamped its small hoofs impatiently. As long as he held his fingers below the level of the milk, the fawn was content. Content is satisfied. It closed his eyes. And when babies drink milk, normally they close their eyes because they are feeling the joy, the happiness of drinking milk. And this particular fawn is very hungry without the mother. It was ecstasy. Ecstasy is extreme happiness, to feel its tongue against his hand. And Jody is enjoying this feeling when the tongue of the fawn is feeling against his hand. Its small tail flicked back and forth, and the fawn is also enjoying the milk. The last of the milk vanished, finished in a swirl of foam and gurgling. Gurgling is the sound. And this is the end of the chapter. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all of you and have a nice day.